Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of Sophia Koetsier, which is another Dutch person like myself, so this one comes quite close to home. On the 28th of October 2015 was the last time that her mother had contact with her because she was in Uganda, Sophia was. She had gone there on August 30th for an 8-week internship at a hospital in Kampala. And while she was there, she was also doing a round trip on all sorts of other things. And by the time she called her, she was actually on a boat trip over the Nile. The West Nile runs through Uganda. And she sounded really happy and excited, and the connection wasn't super great over the phone, but still they managed to figure out that she was quite happy and that it was such a great place. And she was very enthusiastic about the country and how lovely everything was and stuff like that. But after that phone call, they didn't hear from her again. Now, Uganda is pretty far away from the Netherlands, and searching for people there from the Netherlands is very difficult, so they haven't been able to do much searching. There was an official search that was started shortly afterwards, but it has since ceased, and I believe the family is currently trying to gather funds to go and search again, which of course has been made even more difficult now with the whole pandemic thing going on, with extra restrictions and stuff like that. But we have no idea where she is, what's happened to her, or anything else at all. No clues. So today we're going to take a look at that case with the tarot. We're going to start off with the Modern Witch Tarot, which is currently on the table. And for any further questions, we're going to move on to the Wise Dog Tarot, which is this one. So as per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the cards. If I have enough cards on screen, I will pause and then we can take a look at what we've got. So without much further ado, let's go. Okay, so the cards were literally flying off the table while I was shuffling them, so that's a lot of energy again that we have this week. Started off pretty quickly, like immediately after I started shuffling, with the Ten of Swords upright. Now I'm going to grab these two first. So the Ten of Swords almost seems like something happened that made her feel pretty bad about her circumstances. Something after the phone call probably, because at the phone call's time she was very happy. But this almost looks like there's worry, and there's also a certain loss of finances or some type of resources no longer available. Like something was withdrawn perhaps, like maybe she lost her phone, or she lost some other things that was very precious to her. In any case, she felt very much at a loss literally because of that, because the Ten of Pentacles is normally like an inheritance, a abundance of wealth, and in reverse it's like no longer there, it's been taken. And particularly the Ten of Swords, you can see the person down there looking very depressed and checking her phone anxiously, like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. Normally Ten of Swords is like a darkness before the dawn type of card, and in this case it's very dramatic, like she's feeling really bad about something, even though it's not necessarily the end of the world, but she can't see that at that time. She really feels like there's this great loss that has occurred. So she is in this state, in some type of panic or feeling at a loss literally. And then we have a King of Cups who shows up, and the Moon right next to that. So the King of Cups in this case, I think, is somebody who notices her in distress and who says, hey, I can fix this for you. I have something for you. I can help you out. The King of Cups is normally very congenial, very charming, usually very well aware of their emotions and able to express them very well as well. So I think this is somebody whom stepped in as some type of rescuer, but it is followed by the moon, which is a secret card. So there's like secrets going on. So maybe they had intentions that were not initially revealed until later, because afterwards we see some other instant cards like the world in reverse, but we'll get to that in a moment. So this is looking like that somebody came in, tried to offer help or offered help with a hidden agenda that was not immediately revealed. The world is in reverse, and I see that really very strongly as her being hidden from the world, not necessarily voluntarily. And we see a Queen of Pentacles and a King of Wands. I'm going to grab all three of these because I do feel that they are related. There we go. So after she is offered help by this person, after being in this precarious situation, she is sequestered away, it looks like, hidden from the world by this team of King and Queen, the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Now the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's very much fond of her resources. She is somebody who is good with money, good with making things work for them, and it doesn't have to be an actual female, the person who's being represented by this, but it's just somebody who has that energy, just this feminine energy. Could be somebody who is very approachable, but also very much aware of their finances, that type of thing, followed by this King of Wands, which is somebody who is very much in control, very fiery, and really likes to take action. So this seems like a duo that took her away. And it almost looks like a trafficking thing, because we have here, there's this problem created, which is not really a problem, because the Ten of Swords is not really a problem. It's like something that seems huge at the moment and could be a problem momentarily, but it's something that's solvable. But it's made to be a really big problem, and particularly because it's followed by the reverse Ten of Pentacles. I think this problem, whether she came across it naturally or it was created, was blown up probably by this King of Cups, who then came into contact or was already into contact with this pair over here. So they had a connection, I feel, and this is how she was whisked away, it looks as though. Because over here, the next card that we have is the Three of Cups in reverse. Now it's usually involving three people, or at least a group of people. And next to the Ace of Wands, yeah, let me grab these two first. So Three Cups here normally is a celebration, coming together with people and maybe finding some type of joy, hanging out with them. This looks more like the opposite is true, like she came into contact with people that made her feel very bad, and they had ideas for her, as you see here with the Ace of Wands, new initiatives that involved her. So that was something that she was led into by these people, it looks as though. That's why I'm saying this sounds a lot like human trafficking, because it's often wands are also associated with the phallus as well. So it's like, you know, there's some foul play here. We have the Knight of Wands and the Star and Death as next three cards. Now, this new initiative was carried out by somebody with a lot of energy as well. This could be the follow-up card for our King of Wands here, because he probably was the one who came up with this idea to begin with. So she was not okay with this, whatever it is they had planned for her. But whoever this King of Wands, or the Knight of Wands, sorry, is, they went ahead and pushed her into it anyway. His new initiative that would probably bring them good things, but not so much for her. That's why she's not in agreement. And then we have the Star here and Death. Now, death is usually the end of an era. It doesn't have to mean literal death, but you know, this is a fairly poignant, I would say, lineup right here. We see the Star, which is somebody who tends to get a lot of attention. It shines very brightly in people's eyes, and I do feel like since she was particularly in a place where there were very few white people, I do feel like she definitely stood out in that sense, and that's probably why they selected her in the first place. And maybe that also made her a star with whomever is involved in this whole thing. Like they really felt like they had somebody there. And then we have Death here, which is normally just the end of a phase. It doesn't have to be death itself, like I said, it could just be end of a chapter. You do see at the end there that there's a gate with a light shining behind it, or two towers with the sun behind it, whatever way you like to look at that. It could just mean leaving one thing behind and moving into the next. So this very much looks like she was taken in by a bunch of very shady people who had plans for her that she did not agree with, and that ended her previous existence, because I read that she was just done with her medicine bachelor's degree and she was just going to take a gap year and then move on to her master's in medicine. So it's kind of like leaving that part behind at the very least. If nothing else happened, then she just realized at this point, okay, whatever life I had thought that I was going to live after this, it's no more. This is now what we're going to have to deal with. This is the new reality. So let's see what we can find after that. Oh, this one flipped over. Two of Cups. Okay, so Two of Cups is normally like a lover's card. It's also a choices card. Might be new beginnings with somebody, but in this case it's more like an end of that, or perhaps also an end of possibly entering romantic relationships. I kind of feel like this is representing feeling like you're never really going to be with someone like who really cares for you, that type of thing. Because if you look at this card as well, you see the two bowls there at the bottom, and they each have a name of one of the dogs, like they're now together, that type of thing. And this is like an exclusive couple situation, and they give each other energy. As you can see, the water is streaming from back and forth. It's in reverse, so a realization that that is not going to happen for her, and that is something that she should not expect anymore. And perhaps also just that she is constantly meeting people that make her feel, I want to say worthless, that's the word that's coming up. One of the cards fell on the ground, hang on. Two of Wands, also in reverse. Two of Wands is normally like making plans to move out, and this looks like there were no ways out, at least you couldn't quite figure out how to get out of there. Feeling stuck, unable to make a move. We have here, what's this? This is the Nine of Wands, which is very tired of fighting. But we also have here that, yeah, that's definitely the follow-up card actually. This is the Seven of Wands. And that is somebody coming for your position. Sorry, I was holding them way up there. So we have the Seven of Wands, which is people coming for your position out of jealousy. She's not going to fight them anymore because it's in reverse. And it's followed up by the Nine of Wands, which is just being tired. It's the wounded warrior, weary and broken type of energy. So she may have initially tried to fight it, or perhaps had people around her who were in a similar situation who were trying to fight her, because if you have nobody else to fight, then you're going to fight whoever's on your level, perhaps to try and get some type of way over people, some type of control over the situation. It looks like she kind of gave up on that, and she's just tired at this point. We've got Six of Swords, which is normally a traveling card, but in this case perhaps plans to get out, maybe. What else do we have here? King of Swords in reverse, however, somebody who is good at talking. Perhaps also talking ideas out of their mind. And we have the Four of Wands. Okay, so Four of Wands is a harmony card, which is interesting. So I think this King of Swords over here tried to talk her into feeling good about being in whatever situation she found herself in. This could be somebody who's very manipulative, very good with words, could have been gaslighting, possibly, to make her feel like everything that was happening was actually not a bad idea, and that's where this sense of harmony comes from, almost like a Stockholm Syndrome is what I want to say. Like maybe they managed to convince her that actually things were fine. I mean, after a while, I think you have to sort of concede if you want to survive in some way to whoever captors are around you, because they literally control everything that you do. So that's kind of what this looks like. Like she may have tried to plan something to go somewhere, because the Six of Swords is like planning to leave, go other places. making plans, talking to other people about that. Maybe she thought she could trust this person, and they instead actually just talked to her into staying, and or at least not continuing that line of thought about, oh, I'm going to be able to get out of here, because they found some way to tell her that she was actually fine where she was. It's kind of what this is starting to look like. Oh, this one. Okay. Ace of Swords in reverse. So that is a plan, an idea that does not come to fruition or is not very positive. It could be whatever it is that this King of Swords put in her mind, sat in her mind for a while, and perhaps either really influenced her mind to the point where she couldn't think anything else, or after a while she started to see through the deception. So we need to draw a few more cards to see what happens to that. High Priestess. Okay, so that does seem to point towards the fact that after this person was done talking to her, she had an intuition that it was not quite true what they were saying. So perhaps some insights, perhaps some rebellion, maybe some rebellious nature perhaps growing, because we do see here a tree in the mist. It's almost like whatever is hidden is starting to become visible to her, because if you look at the forms down there, it looks as though it's just a tree, but there's also a bird in there, and there's like a fox and what looks like an elk or another dog in there as well. Probably many other things that we currently can't see, but if we were to focus on it long enough, we would see through all of these deceptions. So they were perhaps becoming more aware. So what happened after that? Switching back to the Modern Witch for a bit some other cards. All right, very quickly. Judgment in reverse and the Nine of Cups, which is her not feeling good about her situation at all. Maybe she felt like people would judge her if they found out exactly what had been going on. Or it could point towards a lack of judgment about situation. And in any case, Nine of Cups in reverse is showing that she's not feeling good about this at all. That she's just having very bad feelings about this, which are, I think, a result of the High Priestess. Like, she's aware of her situation now, at least more aware than she was before, and feeling like this is a very, very bad place to be. Let's see if she managed to escape or do something about this. Okay, we have the Five of Wands balancing on my deck here. There you go. Five of Wands is fighting. Doesn't have to be literal physical fighting. It could also just mean fighting against restraints, fighting against orders, trying to find ways around certain restrictions, that type of thing. But in any case, it's the fiery energy. So this definitely shows that after she had that High Priestess moment, she's like, okay, wait a second, this is not right. I can't accept this. This Four of Wands over here is actually just false. I shouldn't fall for that. I should try to do something. So that's what this Five of Wands is saying. Alright, so we have a Six of Pentacles here, which is like a charity thing. She may have gotten some help from somebody. I don't know who exactly. It could be somebody who was equally downtrodden in the same situation, coming in to rescue her, or at least give some type of information that might have led to her furthering her plans. Still, we have a Nine of Swords, which is a lot of worry. So even though she's been giving some type of charity by somebody, there's still this great worry here that keeps her up at night, literally, and perhaps also might even point towards her plans, that she may be afraid to actually go and execute them, go on the run. Six of Cups, all right, so this is somebody who they knew at some point, perhaps. Like the person over here from the Six of Pentacles may have been somebody that recognized her, perhaps. It was like, okay, I'll try to help you, something along those lines. And even though they tried to help her, she was still very much concerned about the whole thing. Oh, there's two on the floor. Okay, the two cards that were on the floor, the Page of Cups in reverse and the Hermits. Now, the Hermits is somebody who is going internal with their thoughts and feelings to try and sort things out, because the Page of Cups in reverse is usually an emotional surprise, and I'm thinking this might be a negative surprise. Well, it's in reverse, obviously, so it's not quite the surprise they were hoping for. Maybe this person that tried to help them out led them astray regardless, or whatever it is that they said that they were going to do didn't quite pan out the way that they wanted. In any case, there is a surprise here. Could also mean that somebody found out. I mean, she was already quite worried about I guess the situation in general, people who were trying to convince her of all sorts of things that weren't so maybe they found out about her plans and she had to recoup, go back inside and start over again, I suppose, because the Hermit is very much about retreating. Normally the Hermit is lighting the way with a candle, but I feel like this is very much, because if you look at her face as well, she's very solemn, and it's almost like a grieving image as well. Like, it's very dark in there. Normally, like I said, the Hermit has a lantern to light the way. The pendant around her neck does glow a little, but I feel like her closing the laptop as well is also showing that she's not able to do anything right now. She has to come back to the basics and start again. Maybe that little spark was still with her, like, even though she was disappointed that her initial plan appeared not to work out with this lineup over here, she still has hope that it might work out at some point. But in this point in the story, she decided to lay low because things were not going the way she had planned and hoped. We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, so that's working against. She could be working against people who have been tormenting her, perhaps, who captured her, or whom she's been given to. Or it could be that people are working against her structurally as well. We also have here Ace of Swords. That's a new idea, but there's no way out because we see the Six of Swords in reverse. Six of Swords, earlier we had them as well underneath here somewhere with the plans to get out of there, but that's been frustrated to such an extent that even though she has new ideas, new thoughts, or had them at some point, she's still not able to leave because other people are controlling where she goes. So that's probably also referencing the Three of Pentacles, which is working against certain things. So far it looks like she tried to escape. She even got a little bit of help from somebody whom she used to know because of the Six of Cups being upright. And whatever happened next meant that she was not able to carry out this plan, or at least not yet, because this Page of Cups is showing a negative surprise. She still had the ideas at this point, but people were working against her and keeping her in place. Now, let's see if we can get any cards about where she is now. Is she going to get found? Chariots. Okay, that's movement at the very least. So there's definitely some movement coming. We have the Hierophant here. Okay. So I think this is pointing towards more of an investigation thing. Like, if somebody who is on the ground and who is well known in that location were to push this case harder, I think that there would be more information coming up. Like, they would be able to get the ball rolling more. The Hierophant is somebody who is a very important figure within a community. Could be a priest of some sort or some type of leader position. I think this person is needed in order to find her and get things moving with the Chariot energy. Oh, this one too. People are tired for sure, and I think this might also be a reference to people in general surrounding this case, because of course this happened in 2015, so it's been a while. Almost 7 years, 6 years and a few months. So there's definitely a weariness here, but we have here also the Devil in reverse, which is either letting go of an addiction or somebody who is very, very much tied up in something negative. Could also be a thought pattern that somebody is tied up into. It may reference Sophie herself. Like she's definitely tired and stuck. That's what this card is pointing towards. And last two cards is Ace of Cups in reverse, which is like trying for new emotional beginnings but being unable to. So definitely this stuck feeling, I think, has led to a negativity that has gone deep inside of her and kind of stayed there. But the last card that came out of the deck is the Sun, so that is very interesting. That almost seems like even though everybody's super wary and stuff like that, we are going to get some information at some point, because the Sun is usually going to shine light on things. We had the Moon earlier, so this is the opposite of the Moon. Like whatever was hidden back then might eventually come to light, and we'll be able to at least put some closure to this case, I feel, because the Sun tends to remove all doubts and shine light on the situation. So that is what I'm seeing for Sophia Koetsier. I hope you found that interesting. In any case, make sure to leave a comment and a like. That really helps the channel along. I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.